My mother hired a religious pastor for our gay wedding and he ruined it talking about God and heterosexuality. Now it's my turn for revenge. Our officiate had a serious health issue less than 40 hours prior to the wedding. We had no friends within reasonable distance who could otherwise do it. So my mother contacted and set up her pastor to officiate before we could approve, who promised to respect our requests regarding our personal beliefs. He proceeded to go back on his word and make the entire ceremony about God and emphasizing heterosexuality. So I'm an extremely laid-back person and during this entire process of this wedding haven't had many issues and was just going with the flow. If something needed changed we did and made it work and I didn't really stress. I only had a couple things I really wanted at my wedding and I didn't get a single one of those things. Now I'm grateful for the day and I got to marry the love of my life and still made the most out of our night because that's just who we are. To start, I'm an eclectic pagan and my husband is a practicing Hindu. We wanted a hand fasting ceremony and had a pagan priest officiating us until last minute. He had a horrible medical emergency so I had to improvise. We were made aware less than 40 hours prior. My mother offered her pastor who she said wanted to do it from the beginning and was upset I didn't ask him first. I said I didn't want to ask him because obviously a Christian pastor isn't going to be okay doing what we want, and just out of respect for him I didn't ask because I'm not going to do that to someone. My mom texted him before I got to talk to my now husband about it, and I felt trapped into having to use him. Again, this all happened over the course of less than 40 hours. We had a meeting and talked through what we were and weren't okay with, and noticed the day of the dress rehearsal he was skipping over his vows and basically not allowing us to see what he was going to be saying at our wedding. My husband asked him for the script so he could read the vows they were going to be having us say, and the pastor basically refused to show him saying he didn't need to see them because all he has to do is repeat them. He eventually showed him, but was very reluctant to do so obviously because of our beliefs we want to see what we will need to be repeating. Sensing that he was about to pull something neither of us would have liked, my husband texted the pastor to let him know we would be doing our own vows and no longer want or need his traditional ones, prayer, etc. He confirmed that he would respect that. The day and moment of the ceremony arrives, and when we get to the altar that man starts going into how is God intended man and woman and really started emphasizing how straight is great, and my blood began boiling because he knew no one in this wedding party was okay with that. We had several people in our party that identify with LGBT, he made my wedding about his God. I'm not going to lie, after all of this I was so upset I drank quite a bit, so I don't remember exact words of what he said, but this man went out of his way shoving God into my wedding which was not supposed to be. My husband and I cried at the altar for the wrong reasons yesterday. We were disrespected in front of our friends and family. I'm disgusted that he felt it was okay to sabotage my wedding so he could ensure he could speak about his God or make sure we were married in the eyes of his God, when he knew how the bride and groom felt. I have never forced my beliefs on others and especially not on the most important day of two people's lives. So now I decided it wasn't worth letting that slide.